Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to the first This Week in Animation of 2024. It is January 2nd at the time of recording. I was going to record this yesterday, but, life got in the way. I still got some Christmas decorations up because, New Year's Eve was only a couple of days ago, but that shouldn't matter because, let's face it, first week of January, everyone still has their Christmas decorations up. So, today, we are going to be doing something a little bit different than just telling you all the same old animation news that you would expect. Although, since we aren't really going to be talking about the news this week, I do want to quickly highlight some of the bigger things that happened in animation this week. Mainly three things. One, Paramount Plus removed a bunch of Nickelodeon shows such as Big Time Rush and Doug, which, dumb idea. Pixar has been pretty anal in removing some social messaging in their latest projects, whether that be the trans characters and some crap. What was it? Some whether it be trans characters or environmental messaging in Win or Lose and Hoppers, respectively, and the fact that as of yesterday, the original versions of Popeye, Tintin, and Walt Disney's The Skeleton Dance are now in the public domain. However, before we can properly move on to 2025, it is time for us to look back at the year 2024 and highlight every single major animated movie release from that year, along with a couple extra surprises along the way. Now, without further ado, let's get things started. And again, we're going to be going through every single major animated movie released throughout the year 2024. Starting things off with the very first one, Orion and the Dark from DreamWorks. I didn't watch this one. I believe I was busy at the time of its release with a play and working on some other videos, namely the Disneyland vlogs, not Disneyland, Disney World vlogs. But it looks really good. The content's pretty cool. And funny enough, this may sound silly, but for the first half of 2024, this was DreamWorks' best movie of the year. So, take that as you will. Moving right along. The Tiger's Apprentice, which I did watch, which came out the same day. And I don't remember anything about this movie. I remember watching it, but I don't remember anything about it. And I didn't make a video about it because, I was working on other stuff at the time. And, my God, just looking at this again, the animation is awful. I hate these designs. That is bad. But, yeah, I just remember it being really boring. Like a really boring ass movie. And I could definitely see why Paramount decided to not put this in theaters and just dump it on Paramount Plus. So, yeah, that's The Tiger's Apprentice. Speaking of, oh God, we are off to a terrible start. Mega Man versus the Doom Syndicate. And they're showing clips from the first movie. Oh no. Yeah. It's I'm hesitant to even include this one as a movie, but Wikipedia put it on there. It's I mean, all this movie really is a pilot for the TV series on Peacock, Mega Man Rules. But the thing is, like, that's not how most people saw this movie. That's not how Universal decided to market the movie. They marketed this as a full-blown sequel to Megamind. This, like, this was promoted with like a 14-year gap between the first movie, and people have been wanting to see a sequel to Megamind, but instead we just got this straight to streaming crap that you know couldn't even get the actors back, couldn't have even a tenth of the animation quality. And to be honest, if this movie came out like maybe 10 years ago, I don't think people would have that much of a problem with it. If it came out 10 years ago and was simply promoted as like, hey, this is a pilot for a TV show, then I don't think anybody would have that much of a problem with it, because because we would not be seeing this as like a full-blown Mega Man sequel. But because they waited so long, and now people have no choice but to view this as the Mega Man sequel we've been waiting so long for, people fucking hate it. I mean, I would too. Look at this man. What did they do to my boy? Yeah, not a good movie. Okay, speaking of underwhelming DreamWorks movies, this film wasn't nearly as bad, but still a bit underwhelming. We got Kung Fu Panda 4. Alright, this is the first one on here that I've actually made a video about. I made a review for Kung Fu Panda 4 earlier in the year. And my god, they tried. They tried to make a fourth Kung Fu Panda, but ultimately it just proved to be a pointless sequel to a trilogy that was perfectly good. I mean, the animation is still nice. The action still looks really good. Poe is great. But the lack of the Furious Five is just painfully noticeable. The bull crap they do of all the past villains is just nothing more than just a cock tease. And the new villain, I can see how she could work, but she's not really on screen much for us to really care. Not to mention, this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but I had a terrible theater experience watching this. Because, like, there were just a bunch of freaking kids running around the theater. And I don't, like, I tend to be more, like, cautious when I go into a children's movie, because, like, obviously there are going to be kids in there, and they're going to be making some noise. That's just what you should expect. I should not expect those kids to be leaving their seats, running around and making a bunch of noise, and their parents doing absolutely nothing about it. I don't care if it's a kid's movie. They need to follow the fucking rules. But, yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4, easily the worst film of the franchise. Although it could have been a lot worse, because it was supposed to have live action people in it, so I'd say we got off easy on this one. Alright, the Casagrandes movie. To be honest, I forgot this movie even existed until I was grabbing films for this video. I was never that big of a fan of the Casagrandes series, but, and I'm not really that much of a fan of modern Loud House in general. Like, ever since that original movie came out, it's just okay. And obviously I didn't watch the Casagrandes movie, which sounds a little weird because like back when I first started this channel, I made like a bunch of Loud House videos, and now I haven't watched the show in years. But you know, my time's valuable. I don't get a lot of free time these days, and so I'd rather spend my free time watching some stuff I enjoy rather than watching a show that is way past its prime. And I, yeah. Also, this movie fell into the same trap that the Loud House movie fell into, where they added a bunch of supernatural elements into a show that was like super grounded, which is weird for your movie. Like the Rugrats movie, they didn't actually fight a dragon. It was all just the baby's imagination. I don't know. It's just stupid. Very, very dumb. Oh, we'll save that for later. But we're going to take a bit of a break from looking at the films of last year, and we are going to take one little glimpse into the future by looking at the one and only animation trailer that came out this week. I am dead serious. That being the trailer for Marvel's next Disney Plus series, Spider-Man. No, it's called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I was about to say Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends for whatever reason. So, not a whole lot to say yet, so let's just jump right into it. Love the comic book shot. Yeah. Art style is interesting. Oh, so this is the rap version of the theme song they were talking about. The animation's interesting. Did they just do a Matrix? Oh, it's Captain America. Interesting suit. Something different. Nice. Okay, that was the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which will drop on Disney Plus January 29th, so only a couple more weeks to go. Um, yeah, I'd say this looks like a pretty fun time. The animation is different, definitely trying to do more of the whole cell shading aspect, where it's trying to resemble a comic book, but definitely CGI. Um, Obviously, it's not going to reach the same levels of the Spider Verse movies in terms of its animation, but I do appreciate the effort for a streaming series. I also like to appreciate some of the changes that they done to the Spider-Man lore. I mean, we've heard the story of Spider-Man a million times, and this is just a million and one. But they do appreciate I do appreciate some changes, whether that be whether that be Peter wearing a different suit, or having the races of some characters be changed, like this is Harry Osborn right now, or even hold on, I'm trying to find the clip that showcases it. Where is it? Here it is. Or even like Peter already being friends with his bully Flash Thompson, which the MCU didn't even do that, and they made Flash another nerd. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting, and I kind of like how the show basically acts like it's basically going to be acting like a series long what if episode where instead of being taken in by Tony Stark, Peter is going to be taken in by Norman Osborn and become an intern at Oscorp. So that's very interesting. And I also like how, with the exception of Peter and Flash, all the other characters that were being shown have not had like versions in the MCU yet. I mean, Norman Osborn has been in the MCU with Willem Dafoe coming back, but it's not specific to that universe. So it's nice to see that even though this is a different universe, it's nice to see that the MCU technically has its own Norman Osborn. And the suit is not bad. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this trailer. And if you guys are interested in checking out your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, then it will be streaming on Disney Plus on January 29th. Moving right along to the animation movies. Hold on. We had another one. There it is. There it is. Things got a little out of order. We're going by like quarter of the years in terms of talking about these movies. Next up, we have something you could debate if this would count as an animated movie. I decided to include it because the animation in this movie is not trying to be realistic, and is instead trying to be, cartoony, because they're all imaginary friends, and that being the movie If. I thought this film was really fun and really charming. I thought the story was sweet but simple. The animation on all the ifs were really good. Ryan Reynolds gave us a performance that wasn't usual. It wasn't his typical performance that he usually gives us, and it definitely tried an attempt to be like a live action Pixar movie, and I very much appreciated that attempt. It really worked for me. And it's kind of sucked that this movie kind of got overshadowed by the other film that Ryan Reynolds did in the summer that you may have heard of. But it was still a very entertaining movie, and I think you should definitely watch it. I believe it's on Paramount Plus right now. Yeah. Next up, we have Thelma the Unicorn. This movie came out on Netflix in the early summer, back in May. So, it's basically about a little pony who disguises herself as a unicorn to get famous. I am actually not going to be giving you my thoughts on this movie right now. I'm instead going to hold off, because I'm going to be doing a New Year's theater talk where I rank all of the movie musicals released in the year. And so be on the lookout for that. But I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's also not bad. Like some designs are straight up awful, like this agent guy, but it's not bad. I've seen far worse. Moving on. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get something. I do not think that the Garfield movie is that bad of a movie. It is honestly not terrible. I've seen far worse. I know that there is far worse. So, screw you guys. This movie's charming. Like, Garfield acts like himself throughout the whole movie. It feels like Garfield. Everyone says that, like, a heist for Garfield is stupid. Well, yet, in the past, he fought a freaking grizzly bear in the woods. And in the past, he went to space. And in the past, he was a superhero from another dimension. And yet, a heist movie isn't enough for him. Like a heist movie's too much for him. Like just because Garfield is forced into a heist doesn't mean he wants to do it. Like, it's not like he's doing kick flips and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't get the hate for this movie. Garfield feels like himself throughout the whole thing. Yes, it's the Chris Pratt voice is very distracting, but other than that, I have no big problems with this movie. It felt like Garfield for me. So yeah, no big issues here. So screw you guys. I like the Garfield movie. And like we all know that years from now, people are going to go, "Oh, actually this movie was good the whole time." They do the same thing with those live action pieces of crap. So, and when we all know, if we all know that people are going to say this was good actually in a few years, can we just say that it's already good? Because it's a good movie. It's not going to win awards, but it's a fun time. Now, this movie's going to win some awards, most likely. It's already in a very high contender for award season. Not necessarily do I want this movie to win, but I feel like it's going to win some awards. That's Inside Out 2, the brand new highest grossing animated film of all time. That being Inside Out 2. Now, I will admit, this movie was fucking great. It was fantastic. Very few problems I have with this movie. Again, I made a video about this. If you want my full thoughts, go ahead and check that one out. But, I really did enjoy this movie. And I'm going to say something that I don't know if anybody else will agree with me on this. But I feel like Inside Out is the only real Pixar franchise I want to see continue for years to come. Like, have just movie after movie after movie in this world. Because, well, there is just so much you can do with this idea. You can watch Riley grow and evolve and change through the years and keep getting new emotions. Maybe some emotions become more present, some emotions become less so present, but all of them, they are all still there. And that's just so interesting to me. Like, I'm pretty sure even Amy Poehler said like she wants to see that happen. She wants to have like see a movie with like a teenage Riley, a young adult Riley, like a middle-aged Riley, or like even an elderly Riley. Like there are potential there is potential for like 3 or 4 more movies than what we already got. And and Disney is very much aware of the potential in Inside Out because they just released Dream Productions, which is a small little series on Disney Plus, but it still adds to the world of the film of the franchise. And yeah, I can definitely see this being a massive franchise. Like it is a massive franchise, but like I can see the sequel potential for Inside Out more so than any other Pixar franchise. Like I'd rather see we get like 3 or 4 more Inside Outs than what Toy Story 5. I know Tim Allen said that he was really satisfied with it, but like we don't need Toy Story 5. Legit, where can you go from there? I guess iPad Kids, but did that need a whole movie? It could have been like a TV special, like what they did with the Halloween and Christmas ones. They already but they are like Toy Story already kind of tackled iPad Kids in the Christmas special. I just remembered that. Holy crap! Granted, it was a video game and not like an iPad, but they would state the same thing. It's like if suddenly in Toy Story 5 they brought in like I don't know, Funko Pops. You would just be restating the same thing that you already said in Toy Story 2. It but like back on the Inside Out. Yeah, Inside Out 2, great movie. Check it out. It hits all the feels, man. Alright, next up is Ultraman Rising. I did not watch this one, actually. Did not watch it, have not reviewed it. I've always been very interested in checking out more Ultraman stuff because, I watched Power Rangers a lot as a kid. I still really do like the property. And I've always been interested in more tokusatsu. And, I got some Ultraman DVDs, but I haven't gotten around to watching them yet. And, maybe this movie would be a good introduction point to Ultraman, but it was released in the summer, and I hardly ever watch streaming movies in the summer. So, but like the art style still looks very cool, and I mean to check it out sometime. So I'll definitely be checking that out in the future. Now it is time for us to take yet another break from the animated movie discussion, and we're gonna talk about some more serious stuff right now. It is time for us to pay our respects towards the people in animation who we sadly lost during last year. I'm not going to go through absolutely everybody because, frankly, that would take forever. But I found about 10 of the bigger ones. Some of them have very loose connections to animation, others are very, like, majorly connected. But regardless, every single one of these individuals have contributed to the world of animation in some way, and I felt the need to pay some respects for them. So let's start things off with one of the bigger losses from last year, that being Akira Toriyama, whose most famous work was being the creator of Dragon Ball. He was the creator of Dragon Ball, and even if you weren't a Dragon Ball fan, you definitely felt this loss because Dragon Ball was is one of the biggest properties ever, let alone an anime or an animation. And the fact that the man who created that world, all these characters, all these iconic moments and scenes and imagery was tragically lost that takes an effect on somebody, even if you're not a fan, because even if you're not a fan, then you definitely know a fan of Dragon Ball. I'm definitely in the I know fans, so I'm definitely in the I know fans category because like I've seen a couple episodes of Dragon Ball, but I've never really given it a fair chance. He got this little mural with a bunch of volumes in the background, and yeah, just shy of the manga's 40th anniversary too. He inspired everyone's dreams. So rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. He, moving right along. Roger Corman also sadly passed away this year at the age of 98. He's obviously most known as the king of B movies. He directed and produced hundreds, literally hundreds of B movies. It might even be thousands for all I'm sure. And he was that guy in Hollywood who could make a movie cheap and quick, and you could always rely on him for that, including making several ones that ended up becoming classics, like his Edgar Allan Poe films, A Bucket of Blood, Little Shop of Horrors, uh, countless others. Speaking of Little Shop of Horrors, he also served as a producer for the Little Shop animated series, which I may or may not be talking about later this year. We'll just wait and see. Uh, bottom line is, yeah, he also gave way to the careers of many influential people, most notably Francis Ford Coppola and Jack Nicholson. Because I believe the very first film that Coppola ever directed was produced by Corman, and some of Nicholson's earliest roles, such as in Little Shop of Horrors, were from Corman Productions. So, yes, thank you very much, Roger Corman, for everything you've done for the film industry and your small little contribution to the world of animation. Oh, this this one hurt. This was a massive loss in terms of animation. This this year we lost the legendary songwriter Richard M. Sherman, who, along with his brother Robert Sherman, wrote many songs for classic Disney films. Their first big Disney roles were writing the songs for The Sword and the Stone, but they are most famous, of course, for writing the songs to Mary Poppins. And very famously, after the two of them presented the song Feed the Birds to Walt Disney, every time that Richard Sherman was in Walt's office, Walt would ask Richard to play Feed the Birds. Which is kind of funny when you realize the fact that for It's a Small World, the Sherman. Stop doing that. That for It's a Small World, the Sherman brothers wanted to donate their money, that they wanted to donate their paychecks to children in need. However, Walt said, "Don't be silly, you're getting paid." And basically Walt Disney took a bunch of money that could have gone to sick kids and hopes that his rich songwriting friends would get paid, which I don't know, that's kind of fucked up. And I just want to let everybody know this is in the Sherman Brothers documentary, which is on Disney Plus. So Disney knowingly has a piece of media that showcases their founder be like taking money from sick children. It's awful. But regardless, the Sherman Brothers still made a lot of wonderful works for Disney. Some of their other notable works include the songs for the Winnie the Pooh shorts, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which was their final film for Disney for many years. They also wrote individual songs for movies such as The Absent-Minded Professor, That Darn Cat, The Parent Trap, and they also would return to Disney to write the songs for the Tigger movie. And Richard Sherman, after his brother passed in 2010, would come back to write the end credit song for Christopher Robin. So, yeah, a massive loss that we just had, but he was Richard Sherman was definitely up there in age, so we should have expected this, but you're never ready to lose such a legend, and yeah, definitely rest in peace, Richard Sherman. You deserve it. You were amazing. Okay, Shelley Duvall also sadly passed away. Shelley Duvall is, of course, most famous for her role in The Shining, as you can see right here, where Stanley Kubrick famously traumatized her on set for the hope of getting a convincing performance out of her. I mean, you could say that it gave her a good performance, but the means to go about it was just horrible. Like, it wasn't just Stanley Kubrick was mean to her. Everyone on set was mean to her for the sake of getting that performance out. Which, damn, what the fuck, bro? But, she was still a very talented actress. And I just love how this is her connection to animation. I just love how, in order for her to, like, do something fun and light after Stanley Kubrick traumatized her, was to be Olive Oyl in the Popeye movie. Which, absolutely perfect casting, I mind you. But yeah, regardless, it is still a very sad loss at not a young age, but still not an age you want to see someone die at 75. But yeah, Shelley Duvall, great actress, in one of the greatest horror movies ever made, and notable in animation history to be portraying a very iconic character in the first attempt to bring a cartoon into live action. So, Shelley Duvall, you will be missed. Richard Simmons, very famous fitness guru from the 80s and 90s, had passed away earlier this year. He probably has the loosest connection to animation out of everybody here. He did a voice role on Rocko's Modern Life. That's about it. And he was a very fun and definitely a character. Definitely a very fun and energetic character. Combined fitness with dancing in a way to, get people fit. And he, enjoyed, after his big fame in the 90s, he enjoyed some rest in the 2010s at retirement. And he will always be remembered for his very loud and out there personality and his insane workout tapes. So rest in peace, Richard Simmons. A true legend right here. Bob Newhart sadly passed away at the age of 94. Bob Newhart, of course, an icon in comedy, famous for the Bob Newhart Show and Newhart. But for the purposes of this video, he portrayed Bernard in The Rescuers and its sequel, The Rescuers Down Under. He also done a lot of other work in comedy and voice work, and he's notable for being having the very first comedy record to win Best Album at the Grammys. So, yeah, definitely a big loss. Some more modern audiences may know him as Papa Elf in Elf. That's definitely the big role that I known him from. Maybe even The Big Bang Theory if you're a fucking loser. But yeah, he had a long career dating all the way back to the 60s. And yeah, truly an icon in comedy, icon in television in general. Yeah, it's always super hard to lose such legends like these, but just a part of the passage of time, I guess. So rest in peace, Bob Newhart. Moving right along to our next death. This is probably the biggest celebrity death of the year, that being James Earl Jones, who passed away. He was the voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa. And honestly, if you did that, that's kind of all you have to do for your entire career. Being the iconic voices of both of them. But he didn't just do that. He'd done tons of other roles in various other films and television shows, on top of voicing Mufasa and Darth Vader for everything. Like, he was like voicing Darth Vader all the way up into his 90s. Bro was committed because he was just that iconic and that beloved and that amazing in whatever performance he may be doing. There's honestly a lot that I could say about James Earl Jones, but I know damn well that I can't do it justice. The bottom line is, the man was a legend. The man is a true he was a true master at his craft, in whether it be on camera or through voiceover, whether he was playing the most evil being in the galaxy, a talking lion, or just a wise old man. He was truly amazing. He was a master at his craft, and it is a damn shame that we won't see any more amazing performances. Moving right along. Ken Page also passed away at the age of 70. His most notable role included being the voice of Oogie Boogie in The Nightmare Before Christmas. But outside of Oogie Boogie, he was also a very accomplished Broadway star, with his most famous role including Old Deuteronomy in the original Broadway production of Cats. Some of his other roles include King Gator in All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Nicely Johnson and the Broadway revival of Guys and Dolls. This affected the world of animation and mainly musical theater, like, horrifically, because everybody loves Oogie Boogie. That song gets sung every year around Halloween time, so I'm sure he's probably rolling on the tricks. Cats, at least, used to be one of the most celebrated and beloved and biggest Broadway shows of all time, so he always had that going for him. Like, between Oogie Boogie and Cats, he definitely left his mark on the world. Definitely left his mark in pop culture. Yeah, rest in peace, Ken Page. So, Quincy Jones was a music producer for Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, and a bunch of other people. I bring him up here because he did portray himself in Fantasia 2000, so definitely more of a record producer, but has some ties to animation. Without this man, we wouldn't not have the King of Pop. Look at all his freaking Grammys. Look at all that. Like, we wouldn't have Thriller if it wasn't for this producer, so yeah, definitely a big loss for the music industry. Yeah, rest in peace, Quincy Jones. And finally, we lost Tony Todd at the age of 69. Tony Todd is more famous in the world of horror for his roles as Candyman and in the Final Destination films. But he has also done some other films such as Platoon, and in the world of animation, he is most known as the voice of Darkseid in the direct-to-video DC animated movies. He was also on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and he just did a lot of work as an actor, and it's a damn shame that such a legend like Tony Todd, Candyman himself, is no longer with us. He did, in fact, shoot some scenes for the upcoming 6th Final Destination film before he died, so we do still have a performance or two left out of him. But regardless, he is still sadly gone. And it's kind of funny watching performances from actors released after they died, especially when you have an actor who works a lot. Like, Ed Asner died 3 years ago, going on 4 now, and we are still finding new movies and shows that feature him because he just worked all the time because he loved it so much. But yeah, Tony Todd, you will be missed. Moving right along, let's get back to the fun stuff. That being animated movies. Alright, we got Despicable Me 4. I didn't watch it. I don't care. Despicable Me 4. I don't care about these movies anymore. I'm too busy in the summer to care. So, these movies can just kind of get out of there. Harold and the Purple Crayon got hand-drawn animation in it, so I threw it in here. God, I was gonna watch this movie. I was gonna make a video about it. It probably would have been a really good video, but it came out the same day as Trap, and I was like, you know what? Harold and the Purple Crayon is going to freaking suck. It's not even fully animated, so I'm just gonna go watch Trap and have a good time. And Trap wasn't good. but I had a fun time at the theater. I just know for the fact that I would have been miserable during Harold and the Purple Crayon the entire time because the trailer just looked that awful. And, that little bit of hand on animation didn't look bad, but like, my God. He turned into a real moose. What the fuck? I did not care about this movie. It felt like yet another attempt to bring a kid's book into live action, make a live action animation hybrid of a kid's book because Paddington made so much money, but not realizing why Paddington worked to begin with. Because we've been seeing those a lot. There was Clifford the Big Red Dog, there was Lyle Lyle Crocodile, and now there's Harold and the Purple Crayon. And next year we're getting Paddington in Peru, but not next year, this year. And to my knowledge, there aren't any more like these children's book adaptations coming soon in terms of live action hybrid films. But hopefully we won't get any more, at least for a while. Because they're not good. Moving right along to a movie I actually did watch. This year was not a good year for animated movies. I'm just saying. There were definitely some exceptions, but man, this was not a good year. I got the Sandy Cheeks movie, Saving Bikini Bottom. I said the title wrong, but God. It was better than Sponge on the Run, but not by that much. I did a Toon Talk on it, so if you want my full thoughts, go ahead and check out that video. But the bottom line is, did not like this movie at all. Although, there is kind of a sequel to this movie in the show itself, where Sandy's family actually shows up. That episode actually wasn't that bad. I enjoyed that episode quite a bit, which I'm actually going to talk more about that later in the year, so be on the lookout for that video. But, the movie itself is just bad. I hated how stupid SpongeBob was. It was just a bad movie. Plain and simple. Oh yeah, I forgot this came out. Ryan's World the movie, which apparently counts as an animated movie? I don't know. Did anybody actually watch this? Did anybody actually care enough to check out Ryan's World the movie? Titan Universe Adventure. Oh God, that animation. Oh. That is some bad. That is bad. I understand what it's trying to go for, but oh God, it is bad. That it's not good. I'm pretty sure Saberspark made a video about this. I guess go watch that Saberspark video. And, oh, this looks bad. That is bad. Transformers 1. I was busy at the time it came out. I was either getting caught up on some movies or I had something else to do. So I've still yet to watch Transformers 1. I know I need to get around to it because I'm pretty sure they're going to make some sequels. But, I need to watch Transformers 1. It looks really good. I've heard really great things about it. But I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. And sadly, the same thing goes for The Wild Robot. The thing is with The Wild Robot, I know exactly why I haven't seen the movie yet. It's because it came out the exact same day as my brother's wedding. So I had to go to my brother's wedding. But since this movie came out, other movies have come out, and I needed to check out those movies to make videos about them and so on. But I just could not find the time to watch The Wild Robot, and now it's on streaming. So I missed my chance to watch it in theaters. Although they are apparently re-releasing it in theaters, so maybe I'll get another finally get my chance to watch it on the big screen. Maybe not. We'll wait and see. I am still behind on movies. Like I need to watch Nosferatu. Well, not to make a video about it. I just really want to watch Nosferatu. But oh well. You can't see everything. And I am out of fucking water. Okay, now I want to take one last little break from talking about animated movies, and I instead want to go on and talk about some animated TV shows. This is not every show that came out this year, because there are way too many, so I decided to narrow it down to the 11 that I got the chance to watch. Some of these I did videos about, most of these I did not, so fresh opinions. Oh, completely forgot I had an alarm set off to work on my show. First things off, Hazbin Hotel. I really enjoyed Hazbin Hotel for the most part. My main gripe with it is that there were just too many characters. There were so many characters on the show, you kind of wonder why some of them were even here to begin with. And it kind of dragged the show's story because of it. But regardless, I still think that the show was very well done. The animation was beautiful. The songs were really great for the most part. The voice acting can be a bit much. Some of the this mainly consists of a bunch of Broadway stars and like one or two professional voice actors. And a couple of the Broadway stars can be a little too overactive for the voiceover. Just kind of, they're like, we're used to the stage, so we gotta play it up. But I'm still perfectly fine with this show. And we're getting 3 more seasons, so nice. And, I like how, the show deals with hell and stuff like that, and it ain't satanic, so it can make a nice little Christian raised boy like me not feel bad for watching a show about hell, because it's actually about redeeming oneself, so nice. So yeah, check out Hazbin Hotel. Alright, Rock, Paper, Scissors was a show I didn't watch a whole lot about. I didn't watch a whole lot, but I definitely checked out a couple episodes, and, I liked what I saw. It's nothing phenomenal, nothing amazing, but, the episodes that I did see. Oh, here's actually one of them with Scissors breaking his arm and not wanting to show paper. But the episodes I did see, they were fun. They were charming. They were interesting. They got voice actors I really like. Their style's not bad. It's a fun show. Check out Rock, Paper, Scissors if you haven't already. Although I know it's a little tricky because it's not on Paramount Plus just yet. But you can still rent the show. It's not a bad show. Hopefully Nickelodeon doesn't cancel it after one season. Or push it to Nicktoons. Iwaju was Disney Animation's first attempt at a long-form animated series. And it was fine. It wasn't awful. It was just alright. Now, I was expecting a little bit more, but the storytelling, it just wasn't there. And let's be honest. You forgot this show came out this year. When Disney announced it, they presented it as like this big thing, yet they didn't market this show like at all. Nobody talked about it when it came out, and now everyone forgot about it. That's kind of crazy. It was it was released in February, so like there wasn't really anything Disney was releasing at the time for it to really compete with. Or maybe I'm forgetting, but I don't care. I don't even remember what all was in the show, to be honest. It's just a very forgettable series. I'm sorry. Speaking of forgettable, Ark, the animated series. Now, Paramount didn't even promote this show at all. They literally just dropped the show with like zero fanfare. They dropped the show on Paramount Plus with zero advertising, like zero trailers, not even announcing a release date. Just like they just dropped the show. And I was like, okay, why are they just dropping an animated series? Sorry. And honestly, I can kind of see why. This show is a cool concept, but in execution, it just wasn't there. And the big issue for me was because I don't care for these characters. I can't connect with them. I'm not given a reason why I should care about these people, why I should see them want to survive, or even want to see them get out of the situation. I mean, it's a really cool concept for a show. Apparently, it's based off some video game. I never played the game, but it just takes this cool concept and does basically nothing with it. Because you don't care about the characters, so why should I care about the stakes? Not a very good show. Apparently, I think there are more seasons coming. I'm probably not gonna watch them. Okay, I actually did do a video on The Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. I watched just about every episode of season one. Hopefully, a season two is coming away because I really like this show. It was leagues better than the latter half of the original series and a million times better than Fairly Odder, which Nickelodeon wants you to forget even existed because let's quickly go ahead and look that up. As you can see, it is streaming nowhere. You can't even rent it anywhere, so they want you to pretend that never happened because this show doesn't bring up any of the events of Fairly Odder. I want to make like a big giant video sometime in the future, just kind of like trying to dissect the Fairly Odd Parents timeline. I want to make a bunch of videos like that where I just like break down timelines and cartoons that make no sense, like the Mickey and Friends timeline, the Muppet timeline, like timelines that we all know are very stupid and not meant to connect together. Just try to make a cohesive timeline out of it. I don't know, just whatever. Moving, but I really liked A New Wish. Check out the Toon Talk if you haven't already. I think everything else just shows I haven't finished, or shows I just didn't make a video about for whatever reason. So, sorry. Okay, Sausage Party Foodtopia. The funny thing, I was told not to finish this show. And that's why I didn't finish it. I was told that, like, episode 6 will make you regret clicking episode 1. And so I haven't watched episode 6. I've watched episodes 1 through 5. And I haven't watched episode 6 because I'm scared to watch it. Like, I don't know what is in episode 6. I don't want to know what's in episode 6. I've been warned about episode 6. I'm scared to watch episode 6, to be honest. But the rest of the show was very mid. It was, the animation saw a significant downgrade, which is expected, but, they blew all their money trying to get the celebrities back. And, they tried to add some of the social commentary back from the movie, but they doubled down on the fucking sex jokes and the shock value aspect of it. Like, just look at this poster, man. Look at that poster. Look at it. The season literally starts with an orgy, and these two just making out. They're just making out. Tired. Kite Man, hell yeah. This show was fun. I only watched the pilot episode. I haven't gotten around to watching the rest of the season. But, damn it, what I saw, it was fun. It was a fun show. It was dumb, silly, very stupid. It was a very stupid show. It was what I was expecting from a Kite Man spin-off show. It's kind of crazy that of all characters, Kite Man has their own cartoon. Before freaking Wonder Woman? Hello. But yeah. I like Kite Man. It was exactly as stupid as I thought it would be. Check out Kite Man, hell yeah. Ooh, and on the exact opposite side of DC animated series. And weirdly enough, this is the one that Warner Brothers didn't want because they sold it to Amazon. We got Batman Caped Crusader. Oh god, I haven't finished the first season yet. But my lordy. This season is amazing. Like you already know what Batman is going into this. Like, the show knows that you know who Batman is, and it doesn't waste time showing you the death of the Waynes or anything like that. It doesn't waste time showing his training. It just jumps right into it. You know who these characters... Oh, damn it. You know who these characters are. You know what their business is. We may change them a little bit, Penguin's a woman now, but you know who these things are, so let's just jump right into it. And yeah, the show is very effective. It definitely does a lot of the film noir type side of Batman, very pulpy, but is not afraid to go into the more of the fantastical elements. Although Clayface is still just a murderer, so this is something that could work for the Matt Reeves Batman. Be definitely focusing on that kind of film noir side, but also Killer Croc exists in this world, so let's give us Killer Croc. But I want to make a full video about Batman Caped Crusader. It is so good. It's such a great show. Phenomenal show. Easily the best Batman show of the 21st century. There, I said it. Alright, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The animated series that was based off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem film from 2023. I haven't gotten around to finishing the season yet, but from what I saw, I really enjoyed it. It was like, the animation style is different from the movie, obviously, but it's still very fun, very sketchy. The turtles are also great. It's refreshing the fact that the turtles don't have to like hide their secret identity and can just be heroes. But the tension of them being mutants are still there because there are obviously still people that want to kill them. So, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a very fun show. I really like it. And, we still got more of these turtles in the future with the sequel to the movie where we can finally get this world's version of Shredder. So, very much looking forward to that. And yes, this is another TMNT show. In fact, it's the 5th time these characters have been adapted into animation through TV, but hey, more turtles. In my book, more turtles is not a bad thing. Alright. Invincible Fight Girl is the latest show from Cartoon Network. Yes, I know it airs on Cartoon Network. I know it airs on Adult Swim, but fuck you. It was made by Cartoon Network with the intent to air on Cartoon Network. I watched it on Max, so it doesn't really matter. Just watching this show, it was clear that this was made to be on Cartoon Network. It's a Cartoon Network show. And yeah, I call Invincible Fight Girl a Cartoon Network show. Same thing with Unicorn Warriors Eternal and My Adventures with Superman. Which, I reviewed those shows. I need to review this one. We'll wait and see. But yeah, I really liked Invincible Fight Girl. I've just seen the pilot episode so far. But, the art style is very fun. Very, the kind of like a combination between the modern, like, Cartoon Network style we've been getting a lot lately, along with a little bit of anime influence, mainly in the fight scenes. But, the show is very fun, very colorful, from what I've seen. I'm kind of glad that, like, they didn't do the whole, the main character trying to, like, hide her fighting life from her parents. Like, right in the first episode, boom. Because, frankly, that shit's annoying. I hate it. But yeah, Invincible Fight Girl. Definitely check it out. And for the final show I'd like to talk about, Secret Level. So Secret Level is, we've talked about this on this show before. Secret Level is an animated anthology series from the creators of Love, Death, and Robots, where every single episode is based off a different video game. In fact, there's an episode guide right here. And there are episodes based off of Dungeons & Dragons, Sifu, New World, Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40,000, Pac-Man, Crossfire, Armored Core, The Outer Worlds, Mega Man, Exodus, Spelunky, Concord, Honor of Kings, and Playtime. My brother actually, yesterday showed me the Warhammer episode. I really liked the Warhammer episode. Obviously, I had plans on watching this show in my own time, but, he showed me one of the episodes because we were just kind of bored waiting for stuff to happen. And, I really liked what I saw with Secret Level, and it felt like an episode of Love, Death, and Robots, but with some video game iconography. I can only really speak to the accuracy of different games if I've played them. And most of the games in this season, I have not played, but they still look cool, and they got me interested in playing them. I know Warhammer's like fucking expensive, but like, mm. But yeah, that's Secret Level. It's on Prime. And okay, we got 6 more animated movies to talk about quickly because I'm pretty sure I reviewed all of these, and then we'll be done. Thank God. Okay, I just said I'm pretty sure I reviewed all of these, but that's a lie because I haven't reviewed piece by piece because it came out in October and I was focused on Halloween videos. So, Piece by Piece is an animated documentary about the life of Pharrell Williams, and it's in Lego because what the fuck not? I had a blast watching this. I was like, obviously knew who Pharrell was, but and I was familiar with his music enough, and it was such a fun time at the theater. It was such a like the animation was beautiful. I love watching Lego movies, and it was a very different type of Lego movie. Obviously, with it being a documentary, it didn't have like the same like humor that the previous one had, but it was still undeniably Lego and had some absolutely beautiful animation attached to it. And bit of an interesting choice for this to be the first collaboration between Lego and Universal after Lego left Warner Brothers because Lego Movie 2 didn't do so well. But hey, it was still a very fun time. It was great, and I doubt it, but I really hope that this gets some recognition at the Oscars because the Academy loves a good animated documentary. Because like every time an animated documentary has come out, whether that be Waltz with Bashir or Flea, it gets like they all get nominated for best animated feature, and not to mention they'll get nominated for best documentary feature, and even with the case of and like best international feature too. Now, Piece by Piece is not an international feature. I do believe so. It was made in America, so it would not qualify for that. But it could get nominated for best documentary because it's a documentary. But yeah, I really like Piece by Piece. Definitely check it out. All right, Spellbound. God. Okay, Spellbound. I have not watched yet. But I will save my thoughts on it for that Theater Talk movie musical ranking. So be on the lookout for that. I have to watch this fucking movie from the visionary behind Toy Story and also Toy Story 2 and A Bug's Life and Cars. And did we mention Toy Story 3? Oh, and don't forget Cars 2. Yeah. Bad. Alright, Moana 2, yet again, I watched this, but I will give you guys my thoughts about it in the Theater Talk ranking because, again, when it came out the same day as Wicked, I need to make that Wicked Theater Talk, and then the Christmas videos got in the way. So, I'll still give you guys my thoughts on Moana 2 in the next Theater Talk episode. So, bottom line is, Speaking of we have That Christmas. I already did a Toon Talk for this, and I gotta admit, some stuff worked. I could see why it could have worked, but quite frankly, I think it just needed an extra 20-30 minutes. It needed a lot more time to like fully develop all the ideas that it had, because like, you know, some of the stuff that they have displayed in this movie, like it's not bad. They're not bad ideas. Some of them are actually really interesting. But you know, I just like think they should have had more time to fully develop them. That's I mean, that's just me. What the fuck was that? It trying to be Love Actually for kids. It didn't work. Moving on. Check out the Toon Talk. Oh, God. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, had so much potential. Like, a Lord of the Rings anime? How do you fuck that up? And they fucked it up by being boring. They fucked it up by having characters just talking about the war and like very few fight scenes. And you don't care about the characters because the characters don't have any character to them. They're all just a bunch of tropes with like nothing unique about them. Like, you know how in the original trilogy there were like some party scenes where like you got to know the characters, and there were like several fun like bits of dialogue in between the quests. We don't get that here. It's mainly just people talking about the freaking war that's going on and not about their character. Not to mention, it would have been easy for them to just do like the normal anime stuff. And, you know, they have anime designs, but it's rotoscoped for some reason. Which, if I had a nickel for every time a animated Lord of the Rings movie was rotoscoped, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. It, I don't know. This could have been amazing. This could have been one of the best movies of the year. But instead, it's just a forgettable mush with some admittedly cool animation in some parts. But the movie tried to have some emotional moments, but they don't work because you just don't care about the characters. And for an epic story set in Middle Earth, you need to care about the characters. That's basically it. And finally, the last animated movie released in 2024 was Mufasa the Lion King. Yes, this counts as an animated movie because there's 0 live action elements. Yet again, I watched this one, but I will not give you my full thoughts on it now because you guessed it, I will give them in the ranking of every single movie musical that was released in 2024. But what I will say is this is a good movie, but it has a lot of problems. And I'll leave it at that. And my friends, that is it for our 2024 recap. We covered every animated movie released this year. We covered all the shows I watched, and we paid our respects to those who have passed away. But before we go, instead of doing our usual spiel of giving you some channel updates, we'll give you some animation updates instead, baby. But instead of going through the regular news, we're going to give you a quick list of every animated movie coming out in 2025. We're only going to be doing the ones that have set release dates as of now, because I'm sure there are plenty of ones like Fix that are supposed to come out this year, but they have no set release date just yet. And the list includes on January 3rd, so this Friday, tomorrow, we have Wallace and Gromit, the brand new Wallace and Gromit movie. I've heard amazing things about this Wallace and Gromit movie. Vengeance Most Foul, that's the name of it. It brings back the Penguin from second short they did, which is great. We love that guy. Love Wallace and Gromit. Can't wait to watch this movie. Aardman's been a little franchise focused lately ever since they joined Netflix. I mean, they made a Shaun the Sheep sequel, a Chicken Run sequel. Now they're making another Wallace and Gromit movie. Hopefully the next movie they make will be an original film. But regardless, it's always a fun time when Aardman releases a new movie. Then on January 31st, we will get Dogman. Yes, years ago, all the way back in 2017, DreamWorks made Captain Underpants. And so it was only a matter of time before they made a Dogman movie. Dave Pilkey's other successful children's book series. The trailer for Dogman looks absolutely great. It has the same art style, same animation style as Captain Underpants. It's gonna look great. Can't wait to see it. It's gonna be so fun. Then on February 11th from Netflix, there's going to be a animated Witcher movie titled The Witcher: Sirens of the Deep. I've yet to watch the Witcher series, but maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But the animated movie I'm most looking forward to in February is The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. This movie has gone through so much in terms of its development. It was meant to air on HBO Max, but then they decided, nah, we don't want to release it on Max. We'll try and sell it to other streamers. But then streamers wouldn't take it, and so they were like, fuck it, let's put it on the big screen. Now, for whatever reason, Warner Brothers isn't releasing it here in the States. I mean, they're releasing it in other countries, but Ketchup Entertainment is releasing it in America. They're releasing it in North America. Yeah, not just America, but also North America. It's silly. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they would go through the problem of giving these big IP movie to a random distributor like Ketchup Entertainment, but still go through the process of releasing it internationally. But I don't know. I'm not David Zaslav. But the bottom line is we're still getting this movie on February 28th. Then there's a big gap. We have nothing in March, nothing in May, and nothing in April. And so on June 13th, we have Pixar's movie for this year, Elio, which was supposed to come out this year, but got pushed back an entire year because of the writer's strike. And so trailers for it has come out. Elio looks pretty good. Honestly, it's going to be a fun time. I doubt it's going to be masterpiece, but Pixar has fooled me before, so we'll see. Then on July 18th, we have the Smurfs movie, which will be based off of the Nickelodeon series. I believe produced by Nickelodeon too. I've yet to watch that Nickelodeon show, frankly, out of a lack of interest. But hold on, but maybe this will be the first good Smurfs movie since the fucking 70s. Who knows? Then on August 1st, we have The Bad Guys 2, the sequel to the DreamWorks hit animated film from 2022. I still haven't watched that. I still need to get around to watching The Bad Guys because, it came out the same day as, a bunch of movies. And I didn't choose The Bad Guys for whatever reason. And, I got the Blu-ray. But, I just need to fucking watch it. I have no excuse. I own it. And the sequel's coming out, so watch the fucking movie, Ryan. God. But yeah, the sequel to The Bad Guys looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks neat. Then, on September 26th, DreamWorks has a third animated movie and that is a film adaptation of their Netflix series, Gabby's Dollhouse. We have Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Um, nah, man, nah, I ain't messing with that. I ain't messing with that. That is a show for preschoolers. The movie's good, looks like gonna be for preschoolers. I ain't messing with that. Something that I am gonna mess with, that on November 26th, we get Disney's animated movie for the year, and it's another sequel, Zootopia 2. Now, Zootopia actually sounds like it has a cool idea for a sequel. We're bringing reptiles into the mix. There weren't any reptiles in the first movie, and so this could be a cool movie. Just gonna have to wait and see. And finally, the last animated film of the year is the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants. This is the fourth theatrically released SpongeBob movie, although this is technically going to be the sixth movie in the franchise because we had the Sandy spin-off movie this year, and sometime before Search for SquarePants next year, there's going to be a Plankton movie, but it has no release date yet. So, this is the movie that is going to have the Flying Dutchman as the main villain, who for whatever reason is not voiced by his regular voice actor and is instead going to be voiced by Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill, but it's weird that he's now the voice of Flying Dutchman. I'm sure he's going to do a great job, but technically Mark Hamill has a role in the SpongeBob universe as the Moth character. You know, from that one episode. I don't know. But hopefully it will be better than the last two SpongeBob movies. But anyway, guys, that is every animated movie set for a release date. And that will be it for this week's installment of This Week in Animation. If I missed any big animation deaths or animated movies that came out last year, or if there are some animated shows that came out that I should definitely be watching, please let me know. I know for a fact that I need to get around to watching Creature Commandos. That is a good one that I need to watch. And Nickelodeon released another new show last year called Max and the Midnights, which looks really interesting. I like the animation style for it. But other than those, please let me know. Also, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified on when future videos are uploaded. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled animation news. But until then, I will see you later. Bye!